Good evening from Ayrshire. Tonight we're at Millbrae as the FOSROC Super 6 continues. We've reached week 9 and the top two in the table go head to head here in Ayrshire. The Ayrshire Bulls host the Southern Knights in what's sure to be a cracking fixture. Both can confirm their place in the final of this competition, which takes place on the 17th of October at the Dam Stadium, the new home of Edinburgh Rugby. It's going to be an exciting night's rugby and you'll see the whole match here live. Just a few minutes ago I caught up with both head coaches, Pat MacArthur of the Ayrshire Bulls and Rob Christie of the Southern Knights. Pat, it's been a very good few weeks for you, 4 wins on the bounce. What's been the secret to your success?
Look, we in the first few games of the season we knew we were close to good performances, so we've stuck by what we've been training on all year, what we've been discussing as a unit, what makes us tick. And look, for the last few weeks it's gone really well, a lot of effort being put in and some good results.
Big test tonight with the league leaders coming to town. They're also playing some good rugby, although Heriots gave them a wee scare last week.
Yeah, look, we know what Melrose give. They are a strong team that's well coached. Now we believe we are the same, so I hope for a good contest out there, and it should be. The weather conditions aren't ideal, so it should hopefully be nice and physical and interesting. And
of course both teams can actually qualify for the grand final tonight, but you're certainly in a good position to get there. Just the fact it's going to be, you know, played in Edinburgh's new ground, it just adds a little bit to the whole competition.
Yeah, look, to play at a brand new stadium is a really good end goal. But as any team will say, you look for week by week by week. So our main focus is a good performance at home, which we haven't been at for the last 4 games. So good performance at home to set us in a good seed for the rest of the seasons where I'm at.
So you say the difference, you've been concentrating on things. What are the things that are setting you apart? Line-out's been very important, for example, in this tournament. The team that tends to protect their ball tends to do best. Yeah, we put a massive focus on looking after the ball. If you are looking after the ball, playing the correct areas, then you don't allow the team to start dictating the pace of the game. So we try and mix up a lot. We do a lot of mauls, right? But at the same time our backs are scoring some brilliant tries out there. So it's about looking after that ball for us, and then when we flip it over, our defensive stats have been brilliant this year so far, and that's based down to effort and what the boys are putting out there. So we have a few non-negotiables, and I hope to see that again tonight. We look forward to it. Thanks, Pat. Thank you. Rob, we were with you last Friday night and you played Heriots. You reckon the Heriots were going to come out and have a go at you, and that's precisely what they did?
They certainly did. We can anticipate that. They were obviously pretty disappointed how they played the week before, and I suppose we missed the jump a little bit, if I'm being completely honest. So you know, it's something that we've talked about, but we believe, you know, as individuals we weren't too bad. It was just collectively we were just off it a little bit. And it was some finish from your team. I mean, you're 21-29 down with what, 5 minutes to play, and you win 42-29. It looks comfortable on paper, doesn't tell the tale of the game. Far from it. Nah. So look, it shows a lot of character from the group, and they kind of believed in themselves. I think that we got a little bit lucky, we've got to be honest with that, but you've got to stay in the game to ride your luck at the right times, and we were fortunate last week. And look, but it's a new game. This has got to be a different animal tonight, I'm pretty sure, with Ayrshire Bulls. You know, they're billing this as one of their cup finals, so you know we know what to expect here, and you know, if we start as poorly, the chances are we'll be on the wrong end of it tonight. You've played once already this season. It was very tight down at the Green Yards. What was your recollection of that fixture? Exactly that, it was tight. I think they had quite a few chances late on and their line out didn't quite function, so they'll obviously look to take their chances. They've progressed massively from there. They've got, you know, they've had a lot of new players that came in, and they've just clearly taken a bit of time to bed in. They're pretty settled in their selection now, so yeah, look, they'll be a lot better, but look, I would like to think that we can be as well. So we're very much focused on ourselves, and we're going to get fire right in and see where we end up. And you could end up in the final with a week to go. Should you get a couple of points tonight? Is that the carrot that you're dangling in front of the boys? Yeah, look, that's the byproduct, I suppose, of playing the team that we've used throughout the whole Super 6 competition this year. We felt that it's only right that we get the boys right through it. So, you know, I suppose the carrots to perform well and try and do something a bit special up at Millbrae. We look forward to it. Thanks, Rob. Cheers, thanks.
Oh, what a night of rugby we do have ahead of us. Good to hear from Rob Christie and Pat MacArthur as well. The FOSROC Super 6 has made its way to Millbrae. It's a beautiful setting on a Friday night for a game. The top 2 teams in the FOSROC Super 6 going head to head. Second place, Ayrshire Bulls taking on the league leading Southern Knights. The league table tells us all we need to know. The Southern Knights 8 wins to just a single draw. Only one loss for the Southern Knights. Ayrshire Bulls, slow starters, but they managed to get themselves there. And with Watsonians losing out to Stirling County last weekend, was a big result for the competition. Southern Knights and Ayrshire Bulls in pole position to find their way into the final of the FOSROC Super 6. I'm delighted to have Robbie Ferguson alongside me. Robert, former Ayr player, current 15 assistant coach, Great Britain Sevens. Robbie, we've got the top clash tonight, but two great clashes also at Heriots against Stirling County, and Watsonians need to get back to winning ways against Boroughmuir.
Yeah, it's exciting. The competition's really kicked on this year, I think, and obviously we've got a big one here tonight, but every game's been hotly contested, and I'm sure all the teams are wanting to put the best foot forward in the next this weekend.
You've played at pro level for Glasgow. At what level is this? You know, you're trying to bridge that gap between your sort of first 15 level, traditional level, and going to the pro game. Has this done that for you?
I think certainly looking at some of the results and some of the rugby that's been played, it's been at a higher standard than what I would perceive the old Premiership to be at. And yeah, I think there's still a small gap up to the pro stuff, but for young players that are sort of playing and coming through, it's a great way for them to get seen by some of the pro clubs and hopefully push themselves forward for the Glasgow and Edinburgh squads.
Let's have a look at the teams that will be entertaining us here at Millbrae this evening. There is Ayrshire Bulls will lead the way. 5 changes from the team that beat Boroughmuir, but there's a very settled look about that side. Certainly up front, Thornton, Maguire and Scott. Bloodworth and Everard, they're ever present this season for the Ayrshire Bulls. And the Southern Knights, Patrick Anderson back in the side. Andrew Mitchell coming in after coming off the bench against Heriots and very much impressing last week. But we've got 2 great halfback partnerships to look at, Robbie. Linac and Jordan against Jones and Baggett, they're going to be key.
Yeah, massively so. Tom Jordan moving in from the midfield and been playing some great stuff at 10, so he's been a big part of the turnaround I feel that Ayrshire Bulls have had. And same with Jason Baggett, a lot of pro experience with Edinburgh there, so yeah, it'll be a big battle tonight, and I'm sure whichever team kicks best will probably come out on top tonight.
Yeah, it could be the little things that make the difference tonight. Kicking best, protecting the ball, line out. I mentioned that to Pat MacArthur, and you know Pat's answer was they take great stock in ball protection, ball retention. They don't want to give it up easily. Yeah,
well, all aspects of the game are going to be huge tonight. You don't want to give away possession, especially on a wet night like this. If you lose ball in your own half, you can be punished pretty hard for it. So it'll be about building pressure in the opposition's 22 will be what both teams want to do, and if you can keep ball in there, then it should transfer into points.
Southern Knights are delighted to welcome back Harry Borthwick onto the bench. He missed out last week. And look out for Matt Minogue. Harry Water started against the Southern Knights last time round, so good scrum halves to come off the bench. Keaton Clark is a late change for Ian Sim. He'll wear 23 for the Southern Knights this evening. The replacements looking strong, and we see it more and more. We see it at the pro game, we see it at this level. It now becomes 15 plus 8. It's no longer you throw in a couple of subs. It's so important.
Yeah, I think it's another massive step forward from the old Premiership when it used to just be five substitutes on the bench. You've got the full 23 there, and both sides will be looking to use that to their advantage last 20 minutes, last 30 minutes of the game. So it'll be interesting to see what the score is and how they can impact the game.
Good crowd milling around Millbrae, taking advantage of the facilities to get themselves a drink and a light refreshment before coming through into the ground here. In terms of the pitch, you mentioned it, we've had heavy rain down in Ayrshire, which really, let's be honest, isn't news, but it has gone off for a while. But the pitch might look good, but there's certainly a weight, there's a skim on it.
Yeah, the notorious Millbrae bog, as it used to get called. It's looking actually okay right now, but we'll see 20 minutes in what that water did earlier, and it'll be interesting to see how it holds up throughout the game.
Yeah, especially, scrummaging, front row players like a nice solid surface, a nice solid base to build on, and we've got 2 packs that certainly can go toe to toe with each other.
Yeah, well, the front rows are not far from an area of my expertise, to be honest with you, but yeah, there's some good experience in there. Ewan McLaren, I've thought's played really well for the Southern Knights, and George Thornton's been a big part of the Ayr season as well, so seeing those two go head to head, the loose head and tight head, will be interesting tonight, I think.
And we've got plenty of players that, if you give them the ball, you sometimes measure teams by their wingers, and you think, what can they do? Robbie Nair, left wing for the Ayrshire Bulls, Simpicurt, left wing for the Southern Knights, they can fly.
Oh, there's I know from Seven's experience, there's a lot of pace out there on both sides, so exciting to see these boys with the ball in hand. So we're hoping the conditions stay as they are and it stays dry enough for it to see these guys in full flight, because Robbie Nairn's fast and he's also a big unit, so tough man to put down when he gets going.
So talking about flying in sevens, you've been doing a little bit of work yourself, Great Britain, you're over in Canada, how was the experience?
It was great just to be back on the World Series, slightly different with COVID times, but to be back playing competitive tournaments back to back, something we've not done in nearly 2 years now, was great, and to do it with a GB programme was new to us all as well, but it was pretty exciting to be back out there, and yeah, I think we represented the programme quite well over this couple of weeks.
How did you feel you did personally? I mean, it's always about the team, but I'm interested in your own form.
Yeah, I got the opportunity to lead the team, and I was fairly happy with how I went. I'm not the fastest on a sevens pitch, but it's how you sort of use your brain and how you control things and how you can kind of dictate how matches are won. So no, I was quite happy with the performance over the 2 weeks, and hopefully we can build on that heading into Dubai in a few weeks' time.
And it's illegal to walk around Vancouver without a cup of coffee in your hand, you know that. It's a great temptation, isn't it?
Yeah, well, luckily enough we were actually allowed to get out for takeaways so we could sample some of the local coffee there, but yeah, we weren't allowed in venues as such yet, but we could take a takeaway coffee away, which was good.
So that is Robbie Ferguson, who'll be alongside me this evening. Ayrshire Bulls taking on the Southern Knights in the Super 6. The joy of the Super 6 this year, Robbie, we were speaking about this off air, is that any team can beat any team because they are built to be able to do that.
Yeah, I think you can see that. The results have all been very tight, 2 points, last score games, and then you see the likes of Watsonians getting beaten last week, which you wouldn't have expected. So it's interesting. I think any team can beat any other team on their day, and I think it's sometimes just whoever makes the less mistakes and converts that pressure we spoke about are doing well.
So the Southern Knights take to the field, all in black this evening, and they will be facing an Ayrshire Bulls side wearing a very different look this evening. They're playing in their change strip. The change strip is part of the partnership they have with Whiteley's Retreat. The top is in Whiteley's colours, has their logo incorporated into the design of the top. It has an owl winking, so we're not going to miss Ayrshire Bulls this evening. Ayr will donate 50% of profits from the sale of the tops to Whitley's, and they often have bucket collections at games and club events as well. Whitley's providing respite with respite care for children and young people with cancer and life-altering illnesses in Ayrshire. It's a vital service, and it's nice to see the Bulls wearing the kit. So the Bulls players getting in the huddle, get ready to break as we get ready to get underway under the lights. Our referee is Holly Davidson, and Scottish terms a well-kent figure. And Jason Baggett will get ready to get us underway. Could be some night. The Ayrshire Bulls, second place, 5 wins from 8, 27 points, facing the league-leading Southern Knights, who've only lost just 1 game, that to Watsonians, and we're underway, and the early take is by the Ayrshire Bulls. Lanack being told to use it, does so, box kick. Joe Jenkins meets it, doesn't gather, and immediately taken down Edward Bloodworth. It's the early kick, nicely taken by Ayrshire, well dealt with, but unfortunately from a Joe Jenkins point of view just couldn't hold on to the clearing kick.
Yeah, they'll be happy with that as an exit strategy. You want to get the ball out your own half, so a good box kick from Jordan there, and it's got an Ayrshire Bulls attacking scrum on the halfway line now, so let's see what the backs can do with this ball as it gets a little bit wet here.
So the scrummage, George Thornton, loose head Alex Maguire, Michael Scott, tight head up against Sean Gunn, Russell Anderson and Hugh McLaren.
Bind. Set.
Scrum holding up, Lanack puts in. Well, they've got the advantage when they get the ball moving from the back from McPherson. Out it comes across, Tom Jordan, it's Goodhold. Will be near none too happy with himself, but they will get the penalty, and the early scrum advantage, Robbie, going the way of the home team.
Yeah, that's going to be a big contest of scrums, so the Ayrshire Bulls will be delighted with that start, and also nice to see the backs having a little bit of ambition off the advantage there to play a little bit into the wide channel, so hopefully that bodes well for later, but that's a big first win for the Ayr boys.
So they need another ball. They're getting one from each side. And they'll throw one back. In fact, we had a third ball boy offering a ball as well, so they're certainly well trained around these parts. Tom Jordan goes deep, just gets past Joe Jenkins on that far side. That was tight.
Yeah, he's got away with one there, so he'll be happy enough with that. So I reckon a big line out drive coming from the Ayrshire Bulls here, and this will be a first real test for the Southern Knights defence here.
Alex Maguire had to go off against Heriots a couple of weeks ago. Gets the throw in, it's well taken. You can immediately see George Thornton going in at the back. It is a maul. Southern Knights have to be careful they don't overcommit. The ball is at the back with Maguire. Linac sends it through. Tom Williams was there. Linac, the runner was Ryan Sweeney. It's a good hit. Back again. Time for the prop, George Thornton. Thornton just pushing away. Andrew Mitchell tried to send it out wide, taken just off the very top of the turf. Mitchell was there. Referee checking the ball. They're trying to come round the corner. Ayr think they've scored, and indeed they have. Holly Davidson in position to give the try, and it's a perfect start for the Ayrshire Bulls.
Yeah, I think that was Blair McPherson squeezed over in the corner there, so the big man will be happy. Good run of try scoring form for him, so he's managed to squeeze over again there in the corner.
Well, you mentioned that's his 7th try in just now 9 appearances, and it was well worked. It was stretched and it came out right into the corner. You could see the work that was going on. Terrific work by the Bulls, just managing to get round the corner. It's a great start.
Yeah, it's the ideal start for the Ayrshire Bulls. They've exited well, they've got a penalty, they've kicked to the corner, and then they've scored. It's the dream start for them, really. A lot of good work right around the corner there from the boys carrying, and they kept the Knights on the back foot and converted that pressure, so it was a great start.
Well, the rain was a little late in coming. It missed kick-off, but it's making up for it at the moment. So they're kicking right by the touchline. Tom Jordan has given that a chance. It's beautiful. We're right behind that, Robbie. It looked good all the way.
Yeah, he struck that one lovely, right between the uprights, so that's enhanced the lead again, so it's good play all round.
Fantini did really well going in to set the ball up. Robbie Nairn in there as well, and there you can see the drive through. Still had a lot of work to do, Ben McPherson, to get through. Ball was out on that far side. We're going to see this a lot. I mean, we're worried about the weather, and not only have we got the rain, the swirling wind, it's not necessarily a night you want to be playing rugby.
Yeah, this is one of the worst nights I've actually seen at Millbrae in a long time, so it's coming down horizontal at the minute, so yeah, Ayr will need to exit well here, but the Knights will be looking to put some pressure on them now.
That's well taken, Tom Everard. Referee didn't like the throw, and that's against the temptation, Robbie. You're trying to make sure. Alex Maguire just not managing to get it in, partly because of the wind, but you just want that exit strategy. You know what the weather's like, but he's just sent it a little bit off centre. Yeah,
you can't blame her on a night like this. It's not ideal conditions for the throwers out there, but you just want to try and be simple in the ball and get out of there. So they've gifted the Southern Knights an opportunity here, so it'll be interesting to see how they go in this scrum now after the last one.
Well, the best decision of the night so far comes from our technical crew, who decided to put Robbie and I under cover in the stands rather than out on the open on the far side. It's a decision for which we are grateful. Again, well, referee decides that there wasn't much in it in this. Let's be honest, Robbie, neither of us are front row experts, and it's a tough gig for a referee. You're trying to be fair, but you're also trying to make sure that neither team's trying to get the better of you.
Yeah, I've no idea what's going on in there. I won't pretend to. It looked to me like the Ayrshire Bulls were maybe going forward there, so that's about as much as I can tell you is what's happening in there, to be honest.
Backs always attract a nicer class of clientele.
Just shout a bit of encouragement into the boys and hope they do the rest. I've no idea.
So Jordan Lanack watches as Cameron Jones gets set to put it in. Ian Moody breaks at the back. Moody breaks 2 tacklers, and now it's the Knights on the front foot. Jones waits for it, tries to fire across on to Ferry, but there's a turnover, and it's been well picked up by Bloodworth. And now the kick's important. That's a good kick onto that far side. That is a terrific piece of play. That is a great exit. And on a night like this, not only do you want to get the kick away, Robbie, you want to make sure you just get that bit of distance on it. Tom Jordan managed that.
Yeah, he's done well there. I think the Knights have just dropped that possession. Ed Bloodworth was quick to react to it, get the ball, and it's a good result for the Ayrshire Bulls, marching them back a bit outside the 22.
So the top teams in the FOSROC Super 6 will be relieved to see that the rain's gone down from very heavy to simply heavy. And there's the throw will come in from Russell Anderson. Taken out of the bag by Ian Moody. Maul called by referee Holly Davidson. And they are moving it forward, the Southern Knights. Lack onto the middle it goes. Andrew Mitchell trying to break through, well held up by Jordan and Fantini. Jones again, plays it across, he's really not. There's a bit of clear out work by the Knights, and they're going to have to get players round Dalton Redpath. Cameron Jones, scrum half taking one for his team there. Here they come again, through Baggett, who's very quickly hit as the Bulls came up as one. Everard being tossed out of there. There's a chance for now Godsmark being the ever present. On the backs, they're diving in off their feet, says the referee. And that's the call that has been made, just getting a little bit over eager. And then just a little bit of afters as well. It's Fantini has to yank the jersey of Tom Everard to keep him onside. The referee saying you hadn't released. And then players coming in over the top. Touch hasn't been found. Back down the middle it goes. Lanack. He sends it long. The yellow hold, the call of the referee. Well, Jenkins loves a run. We saw that last weekend. Jones. Redpath. Presented back. It's low, that takes time and allows the defence to come up. And that's a terrific rip, and then another rip back. Godsmark, and the referee will give the knock on.
Yeah, that was a great rip from I think Tom Williams in there in defence, so he's came up well, targeted the ball, got it away, and I thought we were going to get some turnover play there, but obviously in a wet night, balls went forward, so good D from the Ayrshire Bulls there, and they're coming up hard on the Southern Knights in the hard conditions.
There's terrific technique as well. Not only did he take it off Sean Gunn, he was able to present it back. He was in a good position to link up. A little bit unlucky it didn't work in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's done really well in there, and I think if Tom Jordan finds a pass out wide there, you could Robbie Nairn going down an edge, which is what we all want to see. But yeah, on a night like this, it's tough to get all those pieces together.
So Ayrshire Bulls ready. Done well at home. They did lose here to Watsonians, but they've been on solid ground in these surroundings. As the rain again gets its weight turned up. Moody did all that he could. Back on to Jones. Takes an awkward little bounce, but it's well dealt with by Matt Davidson. Baggett is back, and there's the spill. Now you've got to protect it again. The referee will give the knock on. It's a horrible moment. You know you've spilled it, but you know you've got to get there to protect it so it doesn't get stolen.
Yeah, that's moments, like you said, small moments in the game. That's been a couple of errors now from the Southern Knights that have gifted Ayr territory down here, so hopefully he doesn't pay for that one. But yeah, it's those little things on a night like this that just become so much harder.
And somebody like Jason Baggett, Robbie, let's be honest, we're just used to him catching that and moving it away, but the conditions are foul.
Yeah, he's a classy player. You expect him to catch that, return it back into the Ayr 22 and get into a bit of a kicking battle, but these things happen even to the top players, but he'll be looking to make amends for that.
Personal hold in, front row's popped up, the advantage will go the way of the Bulls. Just can they make anything of it? Nicely done by Lanack, trying to get things moving on that far side. Stutter step from Robert Beattie. Lanack in there once more, driving on, Everard. Through the hands again. Got a couple of props in the back row. Baggett was cleaned out by Fantini, it's a good job. Comes on to Tom Williams. Williams near and there to protect. There's a man down. Cycling the ball well. There's the drop, and that's often the problem. No advantage. Coming back for the penalty.
Yeah, I think it seems that Ayr maybe just getting that nudge on the scrum there. That's a couple of penalties went their way, and on a night like this, if there's going to be drop balls to have the edge in the scrum, it's going to be a big thing.
It's Blair McPherson who couldn't hold on, but the penalty advantage was with the home side. And now down into the corner they go. Ayrshire Bulls just settling on the call. It will be Alex Maguire. Didn't start any of the Super 6 last time round. This is 4th start in the season. George Thornton makes the call. It's well taken, Everard. And there's the rolling ball. This is going to be hard to stop. The referee's happy it came down naturally. Lanack plays it out wide. McPherson looking for his second score of the evening. The Bulls' top try scorer. Round the corner they go again, being repelled once more. Ferry and Knott trying to do the work. The back's now set up to the left hand side. The forwards set up to the right. It's the forwards who take it in, trying to find a way through. That's terrific textbook play from the Ayrshire Bulls. And once more they managed to get the ball over the line. I think Ben McPherson says that's mine once more. There you go. And the captain again does the job.
Yeah, he's definitely claiming that as 2 tries, a metre apiece. He'll be loving that. He'll be absolutely loving it. The try scoring form continues from the big man.
It's quite a remarkable run of tries when you think about it. You know, he's scored in 5 games this season. This is his 9th game he's played in. That's try number 8. It is impressive.
He's a great ball carrier. When he gets 2 or 3 metres out from the line, he's a big man, good leg drive. He's hard to stop. So he also likes getting his hands on the ball. So if it's 2 metres out, you've got to look for Blair to be getting his hands on the ball.
This looks a reasonably straightforward conversion. And through it goes. Well, the Southern Knights probably have got an awful lot of work to do now.
Yeah, it's been tough. There's literally been two little errors that's led to 2 scrum penalties, which Ayer's kicked to the corner, and the forwards have done really, really well. So it's coming off the back of these small errors we spoke about, and yeah, if they tighten up on them, I'm sure they'll have their purple patch and they'll come good as well.
Well, the Ayrshire Bulls enjoying this start to the evening. Jason Baggett. Anderson on the tackle. Not moving away. Holly Davidson was up very quickly. Blair McPherson just has a little word, but the arm of the referee was up.
I think that's something the refs are really trying to pick up on now, just that rolling after the contact. So you roll too many times, they're going to look to blow that up because it's not a fair contest. So I think players maybe just went for one too many rolls there, and Holly's picked up on it.
Yeah, I mean, what they're trying to encourage, you're right, is just fair contest for the ball. Obviously, every player's going to seek an advantage for himself, but if you carry it just a touch too far, you run the risk of that. And of course, this is literally bang in front of the post, and we would expect Jason Baggett to get the points.
Yeah, you'd expect Jason to convert this, and yeah, Southern Knights will be happy to get some points on the board, I think.
Take nothing for granted until it's safely through. Safely through it goes. And after what's been a torrid start for the visitors, as you mentioned, Rob, it's just nice to get that scoreboard clicking on your favour.
Yeah, I think that'll settle Jason down as well, so it gets him into his game, and 3 points on the board, and they can kick on now a little bit, Southern Knights.
Now we're looking at the two highest scoring teams in the FOSROC and Super 6. Southern Knights have scored over 20 points in all their games. So too have the Ayrshire Bulls. Jordan sends it long. Moody waits for it. It's a good take, a little bit of space to go. Turns himself well. Jones into contact with Dalton Redpath. Where Jones gets the high kick. Davidson was waiting underneath it. He's taking this a little wonder. He did get checked coming through. And again, Jason Baggett is probably just half a yard short of where he wanted to be, Robin. He tried to gather it, just came off his fingers, and then temper's starting to flare slightly.
Yeah, it's just frustration boiling over there. That's 3 in a row now, where I think that kick wasn't as clean as it maybe should have been from Matt Davidson, and it's just died at his feet. So it's been a tough catch, but it's just playing in his mind now a little bit as well, probably.
It's one of the really interesting parts of playing rugby at any level is how you deal with the errors. You've made an error, you've made a couple now, but there's still a long way to go. You've got to deal with those and almost just that's gone. You can't do anything about it, you know that yourself, but it's a hard thing to overcome.
Yeah, it's just trying to wipe the slate and get on to the next job. He's a good enough player, he'll bounce back and he'll be absolutely fine, so yeah, it'll be okay. It's no major issue, but it's the problem with the scrum. I think it's going to be the big thing for the Southern Knights here.
The scrum holds up well for the Bulls. McPherson taking it forward. Jones is holding off. There's the advantage coming. Lanak gets it through the hands of Jordan. It was Nairn who dropped it. Nigel Smith would be off. And he would have scored, but not driving straight. And I think that's Sean Gunn who was penalised. And we've seen this before already tonight. They get a penalty, ping it to the corner, and the ball is hard to stop.
Yeah, I think the Southern Knights will know what's coming here, so it's just interesting to see if they can stop it now.
To the corner again, go the Ayrshire Bulls. Now Blair McPherson does have a hat-trick already this season. This competition would he be unbearable if he gets another?
Yeah, certainly would be. He's one of my ushers at my wedding, so I couldn't live with him for the full day, and all the time I have to spend with him. Got a hat trick here this early on.
And it comes taken cleanly. Everard in there, move it quickly. It's with Maguire at the back at the moment. Referee is happy with the contest, trying to grab the jersey out. Maguire nearly loses his. And again, it's split. They've changed the bind, and again the Knights not happy. Lanak out onto Robbie. Nairn on Nairn. Just what a hit that was. Trying to find his way through. Bounced that off Rooney. Not. Out it comes. Continued shouting and yelling in support. 7 takes his place just behind the ruck. Well, they come back for the penalty. Dalton Redpath was penalised on that occasion, Robbie. And there is an injury. Time has been called off momentarily.
That's not what you want to see coming. Robbie Nairn with a 5-10 metre run up straight at you at the try line. That was a big carry from a big man.
Yeah, Rory didn't shirk his responsibility though. Tried to take him down, but it's another old knock, and it does come at a cost. Water carriers coming on. Just getting a chance to have a little bit of a breather for now. But it's been a high tempo start from a Ayrshire Bulls perspective. Good start against the Boroughmuir Bears, and then you see, there was a couple of losses in there, just a 2-point loss between them and the Southern Knights, but they've been impressive in recent weeks. Heriot's Stirling County, Heriot's Boroughmuir. It's been good 4 wins out of 4.
Yeah, they've certainly picked up their form over the last few weeks. I think speaking to some of the coaches, it's just breeding that familiarity within the team and players getting used to each other. So there's a lot of new boys came in this year, and it's taken them a little while to gel, but they certainly seem to be hitting their strides now.
Well, they are gelling. 33 tries in 8 games coming into tonight. 16 different try scorers, so they have shared it around. Ayrshire Bulls looking to go top of the table with a win. Jones shoves Lanack, being told to use it. Here's McPherson going for a hat-trick. The ball ripped away. Gosmark gets it. It was Baggett who did the ripping. McCure on that far side. It's arguably the first thing that's gone right for them in their own 22. Jenkins sends it long. Matt Davidson very quickly. Robbie Nairn is downed. McLaren on the drive. Fantini, I thought, came off his feet. Play on, says the referee. Jordan, it comes through the hands again. Robert Beattie tries to drive his way forward. Lanack through onto Tom Everard. Everard, Sean Gunnan in the tackle. Maguire. It comes back to Jordan. Fantini is there, but he was almost tackled by 2. Somehow he gets himself away. Out through the hands of Tom Williams. Robbie Nairn is tying his shoelaces, and has the little juggle there by Fantini. Yanni Fantini, he's been some influence for Ayr this season. He's got a great deal of energy, and he's got an eye certainly to jackal the ball, but he's a decent carrier as well.
Yeah, he seems to have had a really good season from what I've seen of him. He's a 7, plays on the edge, wins a lot of penalties, a lot of turnovers, and yeah, he seems to carry quite well. Busted a few tackles there, so yeah, he seems like a solid player and a good signing for the Ayrshire Bulls.
And just to come back, it was a good rip by Jason Baggett. He managed to get there, and they got out. And it's important psychologically that they got out their own 22 without conceding it.
Yeah, I think that was Blair McPherson looking for the hat trick too hard there. He was carrying well into the 10, but yeah, Jason Baggett's done really well to strip the ball off from there, and disappointing from an Ayrshire Bulls point of view, that's an opportunity missed, but yeah, that's a confidence booster for the Southern Knights.
Staying steady, although the Southern Knights want to get that out of there. Godsmark. He's got a little chance, beats 3, taken down by McPherson. Now through the hands of Redpath. Redpath presents it back onto Jones. Baggett fires it into Andrew Mitchell. There's no way through. Well, may have been side entry, but the referee didn't pick up on it. Now it comes up, Davidson. Dalton Redpath downs him. Lanack. Baggett waits for it, clutches it to his chest. Now himself tries the up and under, he's going through. It's going to be an awkward bouncing ball. Knocked back. Godsmark gets in. This could set the Southern Knights up, get things moving. Here's Baggett. Baggett goes for the chip. Not quite sure. And easily away by Matt Davidson. you immediately look at the referee as if there was a penalty advantage, because it seemed a strange decision to go for the kick over the top.
Yeah, I think that's maybe just came off the outside of his boot a little bit there, not exactly where he wanted it to, but better play from the Southern Knights. They're building a little bit of pressure in the Ayr half now, so hopefully they can try and build on that now.
An injured player, that's Jordan Lanark. A little bit of discomfort, and he'll get some treatment. There's Matt Davidson, we'll hear from him at half time. So the Southern Knights coming into this, well, look at those wins, took care of the Bears comfortably enough. Then Watsonians, that was a really good game. And last week, well, the Heriots game was enthralling. Just an incredible game of rugby. They trailed by 8 points with 5 minutes to play. Somehow got 3 tries. I thought the final try was a little bit harsh. Billy Wara got an interception and went off to deny Heriots the losing bonus point. But it was a cracking game, and it's been indicative of the games we've seen in the Super 6.
Yeah, there's been some great tries scored across the board from all the teams, and I think you saw from that result last week from the Southern Knights, they won't worry too much about being behind. They've got belief in themselves that they can score tries, like you say, 3 just towards the tail end of that game, so they'll be okay with where they are right now.
I guess that's the thing, isn't it, Robbie? I mean, it's an 80-minute game, it's an old cliche, but you know, you will have your purple patch at some point, so you can't get too down too early.
No, especially not in the first half of the game. It's still a contest here. Both teams are still feeling each other out a little bit, so I'm sure the Southern Knights will come back and put a bit of pressure on the Ayr team, and it'll be interesting to see how those boys react when the Southern Knights start going well.
First half rattling through at pace. Dalton Redpath takes, gets it off to Ferry. Simon. Penalty advantage coming the way of the visitors. Baggett, the little up and over. Davidson, great cover tackle. The ball has come back. They've come through and over the top once more. Now here's a little chance. Dalton Redpath driven out, and the referee will bring it back. That's good covering tackle work, there was no doubt about that. Davidson and co. But the penalty advantage, in fact there was one penalty, then there was a second one as well, Robbie.
Yeah, I think there was 2 or 3 in that phase of play there. The Southern Knights bench are getting behind us, but nice bit of class there from Jason Baggett. Got advantage, chip and chase, opened up an opportunity, and yeah, it was nice to see the big man moving down the edge there.
There's Dalton Redpath, he's a big unit to stop. But stopped he was. That's a good kick into the corner. Jason Baggett, 51 points last season, main kicker this term, couple of tries. So Sean Gunn giving his instructions to Russell Anderson. Ian Moody, oh, they're going to go to the front, and Moody's going to wrap round. Now here's the ball. Well, it's turning, it's twisting, they're going to have to bring it back in field. They're doing so. Players haven't broken their binds. There's the penalty. It's very hard not to take that down. And the referee will bring things to a halt. There's the penalty advantage for hauling down the maul. If you get that right, Robbie, it's a very hard thing to stop.
Yeah, I think we've seen both ends of the pitch now. The driving maul, if it's executed well, there's not a lot you can do from 5 metres out, so the Southern Knights are obviously going to put it back into the corner and go for something similar again, I'd imagine.
You can see there, my God's Mark, he's having a little chat. He's wondering what he's looking for. Andrew Mitchell is such a good game coming off the bench. Last week they'd love to get the ball through his hands as well. In fact, he's gone into the line. He's the second jumper as things stand. That is some length of line out. They'll go to the back. It's well taken and round they go. The ball will be smuggled to Russell Anderson. It's nicely done by Knott. Now it's still with Russell Anderson. He's been a bit of a try scorer this season as well. Can they find their way through? The bodies all the way round. They are short. Jones pulls it out, goes back, goes one way then the other. He's just going to be held up. It was a lovely effort. It's been dropped, but it went backwards from Russell Anderson. There's another congregational gathering of knights. I would normally say a round table. A little pick and go round the corner. Redpath trying to support. George pulls the ball back on to Baggett. Baggett tries to gather. Now Dalton Redpath tries to go round. The ball is driven from his hands, and the referee is going to come back for the penalty. George Thornton and Michael Scott on that occasion, Robbie, find themselves in an offside position.
Yeah, that's been a few penalties now against the Ayrshire Bulls, so it'll be interesting. I'm sure the Southern Knights were asking Hawley about it, especially in that 22, to try and push for a yellow card, but again, it'll be interesting to see what they do here. I think they're going to go for the corner.
Getting ready to just pop it out. Is it the contest you expected, Robbie, so far?
Yeah, I think so. I think the Ayrshire Bulls probably got off to a slightly quicker start than I thought they might do in the conditions. They played them pretty well, but it's been a pretty attritional battle up front, and I think we can see what's about to happen now with the driving maul is going to play a big factor in the outcome of this game.
30 tries this season for the Southern Knights, 4 try bonus points. They got the flick, it's up and over, and again, Knott feeds the ball back. Well, if you want a definition of a maul, that is it. Ball in there somewhere. Maguire not wanting to move, and they're trying to drive them out, and they've done so. Well, that's maul defence, using the touchline as your friend, and that's terrific work from the Ayrshire Bulls. The only person in here that plays rugby that didn't join in was Robbie alongside me. I mean, there was just so many people there.
I have no idea what's going on in there. There's been a big pushing contest, and the Millbrae fans have liked it, and that's been the outcome of what I could see.
Yeah, there was great excitement down in that corner. But that's 50% of the job, Robbie. You've now got to get your exit strategy here, from the throw from Maguire, from the take. Everard's certainly a reliable target. That's who they're going to look to lift to. That's one movement, says the referee. The Knights all come up, just trying to put a little bit of pressure on. Forward, they've got the momentum. Henry Davidson comes from one side to the other to check there's nothing nefarious going on. There's the knack, right foot on the ball. Hasn't gone out. Jenkins has made control, beats near the tackle, now it might open up for him. Jenkins, it's a brilliant run, he is taken down. Now the Southern Knights trying to get ball moving quickly. Jones, the scrum half, on the snipe. Now they're trying to get it out wide. It's a scrambling defence from the Bulls, but they're trying to get there. Jones. Again the pull back. Russell Anderson was leading the charge, trying to come the other way. They go down the blind side, trying to find a way through. There's McLaren. All the action on the far side of the field as McLaren again drives the ball down. It's a chance for Rory Knott. Needed some support. Important moment in the match if Southern Knights can find a way through. It's not Redpath. Where's 4? Then the ball comes out. Time off, says the referee. wants a word with the captain here. Well, there's a player down, so they'll get some attention, but I'm trying to have a listen to Holly. Terrific defence from the home side.
Yeah, I think Ayr nearly exited perfectly there. Good driving ball. I think in an ideal world that ball would probably went off the pitch from Geordie, but yeah, gave Joe Jenkins a great opportunity on the counter attack, and he took it. He's quick, he's got a lot of pace. It's exciting back three for the Southern Knights, so he got back into that Ayrshire Bulls 22, and like I say, I think Holly's patience with the Ayrshire Bulls discipline might be wearing thin a little bit.
Yeah, her microphone is slightly displaced, so we're not hearing everything she says, but there was a warning given to the Bulls. Naughty again, there'll be a card to match the colour of the jersey coming.
Yeah, I think like you say, this is a big period now just before half time. If the Southern Knights can score here and go in 4 points behind, I think they'd be fairly happy with that return. Potentially a little bit of wind to play with in the second half, and I think Ayrshire Bulls would be buoyed by the fact that they could hold the Southern Knights out at the moment.
There's very little between these two sides this evening so far. It's been the Bulls who've been more clinical, certainly from the rolling ball. 2 Blair McPherson tries the difference. So the penalty had been given. It's Andrew Mitchell just having a little word there. He wanted the ball, and Goldsmith was his opposite number, Tom Williams. He was penalised. Yeah, the conversation with Andrew Mitchell and Jason Baggett continues. Andrew Mitchell, just the 3rd start of the season. Line out taken well, it's Redpath. And there is the ball. There's a knock on in the transfer. And it's a mistake from the Southern Knights. It's the Bulls who celebrate. And you can see Sam Fagur frustrated here on the left wing, but it's going to be an exit strategy coming up for the Bulls. And again, they've spent a fair bit of time inside the 22, Robbie, but no return as yet.
Yeah, it's just that ability to convert the pressure, I think, a little bit. There's been a few mistakes here and there just on 5 metres out from the Southern Knights that have let the Ayrshire Bulls off, so Ayrshire Bulls will look to build an exit here again and try and relieve some pressure.
Fascinating contest so far. 2 well-disciplined sides. Ayrshire Bulls just 4 yellows in 8 games. Only 2 came in the same game against the Southern Knights. The loss at the Greenyards. But they have been pretty disciplined. Scrum has gone down. And the referee will ask for a reset. Well, the driving rain has at least gone off, which gives the players a break, because it was certainly causing a problem. Certainly, when you combine it with a swirling wind, the conditions have eased and should make for a good second half as well. At half time we will hear from the Ayrshire Bulls assistant coach Pete Horn and the fullback Matt Davidson. Penalty. You could see the props going down the front row, the elbows touching the ground. And in the dark carts of the front row, it's Messrs Gunn, Anderson and McLaren who celebrate. And again, Jason Baggett will send this to the corner. And it will be the opportunity to try and get them all correct. Well, I guess, Robbie, they'll be aware of the scoreboard, but they'll be aware of the clock as well. Just, under 3 minutes to make something happen here.
Yeah, I thought the Ayrshire Bulls scrum's potentially been on top, so that's a big result for the Southern Knights, getting the penalty there, and this could be 3rd time lucky for them, going 5 metre out line out.
So Russell Anderson done well this season, 4 tries this term, couple against Boroughmuir Bears in September. It's a long looping throw to Ian Moody. Now they drive. There's the split, the opportunity to move it forward again from Russell Anderson. Needs the support, has it? It's all very tight, driving down at the line. Referee has to be well positioned here. It will be a little pick and go round the corner. You can see the man latching on, trying to drive him over. Now Jones sends it across. Mitchell couldn't take it with him. And the referee is going to have a card here. They've come up offside. And Holly Davidson has had enough. It's just a question of which number she calls. Well, we thought it would happen. They just ran out of patience. And it is number 3, Michael Scott, who will take his place in the office. You'll only get that if you're a fan of the American Office, and Michael Scott is the main character.
Yeah, I think that was coming from Holly. You could see she'd already warned the captains, and yeah, I think it could have been one of many, but he's been unlucky enough that it's him.
Yeah, I tried an Office reference when I last put up the rules, but I'm not sure many people like the American Office as much as I do. Back to the more serious business of the rugby, the FOSROC Super 6. So this we could do with the ball, just a little technical thing. I mean, this is a big moment. I mean, as you mentioned, I mean, the Southern Knights would be happy to cut this to 4 points, but they'd be even happier if they cut it to 4 points and then get another 8 minutes or so. They start the second half against 14.
Yeah, this could be big now. If they score now, they'll be in a great place coming into the second half, knowing they've got 8 minutes, like you say, with the Bulls down to 14 to try and capitalise. So it's going to be an interesting outcome here.
Russell Anderson, they're trying to go north to south, but they're going to have to move east to west at some point. Referee said to use it. Jones comes in. I think Anderson might be slightly exposed there. They've turned round. The Knights get in. And the referee said it's a knock on. I thought Anderson got splintered and got taken away. And that's a bad piece of play from the Southern Knights.
Yeah, you can see the Ayrshire Bulls are all in there celebrating that when they knew it was a big moment. So yeah, that's great credit to the line out D from the boys there.
So this will be the last play of the half. And there is going to be a change made as well. The referee's indicating a replacement is required. Of course, with Hugh McLaren watching on, he doesn't have the other number 3 against him. Michael Scott in that front row. So Callum Cruikshanks will come on. I beg your pardon, it's Calvin Henderson getting the wrong bench. Aaron Tate will come off. This isn't going to be easy for Calvin Henderson to come in and immediately slot in cold to what is an important scrum. Although it could be a brief cameo appearance if they win the scrum and the ball goes out. He can pop himself back off because they'll be off for half time. Jordan Lanak trying to get it clean. Out to the base it comes and kick through. Well, it's been a good first half for the Ayrshire Bulls. And I guess, Robbie, to sum it up, they've taken their chances from the rolling ball and Southern Knights haven't been able to.
Yeah, I think the Southern Knights were slightly disappointed. I think they had their chances there just towards the end of the half to claw some points back, and with Ayr down to 14 men now, it'll be interesting to see how they start the second half.
Yeah, it's going to be very important chance for Rob Christie to have a word with his side. But just slightly disappointed with a slow start. Very difficult with the swirling wind and rain. Dropped a couple of clearance kicks. And the Ayrshire Bulls have certainly made the most of it, leading at half time by 14 points to 3 at the scoreline here at Millbrae. Let's have a look at the highlights of the first half. Here's the opening try, Robbie. I mean, it was just solid good work when the pressure told. Fantini did well to get in there. Robbie Naird's a winger, but sometimes he looks like a lock forward when he goes up and supports.
Yeah, I think the backs and forwards are both contributing to that work rate round the corner, and eventually it took its toll, and the Southern Knights just ran out of defenders, and Blair's managed to dive in the corner. But it's a good team try. Everyone, like, see Bobby Beattie carrying there hard from centre, stepping up and helping those forwards out.
Patrick Anderson had made a good tackle, couldn't ask for much more of him, but he got through Godsmark. And Anderson trying to help out. It was good refereeing as well from Holly Davidson in the right place. We then had a fair old rainstorm and one or two tempers fraying. The rain falling from the sky wasn't dampening the tempers of either team. Second try again, penalty into the corner, winning of the ball, and it was just good disciplined play on this occasion by the Bulls.
Yeah, again, just building pressure, and I think discipline, like you say, is going to be a big thing for the second half. We've seen how deadly the line out maul can be for the Ayrshire Bulls, and also for the Southern Knights, who have built a lot of pressure down there. So yeah, discipline's going to be a big thing in the second half.
So Southern Knights had conceded 2 tries. They're under pressure again, and Jason Baggett did very well to rip the ball from Blair McPherson just as he was threatening a third. And I'm not saying it would have been game at that point, but it's a hard road to come back if you're 21-0 then.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that was a little turning point for them as well, that turning the Ayrshire Bulls over in their own try line there, and they then went on a bit of a run and got some momentum, the Southern Knights, and they sort of had their purple patch for 15-20 minutes there towards the end of the first half. So yeah, it's been a good contest.
And there are the 3 points from Jason Baggett, slotted through the post, the only attempt we've had from the boot regarding a penalty. The half-time scoreline, the Ayrshire Bulls 14, the Southern Knights 3. Lots more to come from this one in the second half. Ahead of tonight's game, we caught up with Ayrshire Bulls assistant coach Pete Horn and also with fullback Matt Davidson to reflect on their FOSROC Super 6 campaign so far.
As we approach the business end of the FOSROC Super 6, we made our way down to Millbury to catch up with the Ayrshire Bulls. After a slow start, the Bulls have found their form in the last month, winning their last few games very convincingly. Earlier, I caught up with assistant coach Pete Horn and fullback Matt Davidson to find out how fortunes have changed at Millbury.
I'm Pete Horn and I do the attack and the backs for Ayr. I played obviously for the How until I was till all the way through school and things, and then I done 1 year with them post-university when I got picked up by Glasgow. I think I signed when I was 18 for Glasgow, and that's me done, God, time's flown, but this is my 14th year with the Warriors. I've loved every minute of it, and yeah, I really feel like Glasgow's home now. I've never moved away or done anything different, but you know, I've got a real sort of affiliation with the club and the city, and yeah, like I said, I've loved every minute of it.
That was your playing career, and obviously still playing now, but how did the kind of transition work with you into coaching, and how did that come about? Coaching's something I've always been pretty interested in. Mum was a tennis coach, my dad was a rugby coach. He took us all the way through kind of minis, middies, and started doing the seniors when we finished. So it's always sort of been there or in the background. And when I was younger, I used to go and coach my little brother. He's 5.5, 6 years younger than me, so I used to go around and help out his little mini team, and you know, I always really enjoyed it. I feel like you get a lot back, a lot out of it. When George kind of came through to Glasgow, I started coaching Glasgow Hawks. I think I'd done maybe 3 years there. One of my really good mates, Finn Gillis, was the coach there. He asked me to go in and do some attack and things for them, and yeah, I just loved it. So from there, I kind of done a bit with another couple of clubs. I've done a little bit with Stirling. I've kind of made my way through to Ayr. So no, it's definitely something that when I finish up playing, I'm really keen to stay in the game and yeah, hopefully move into transition into coaching. Now, obviously here at Ayr, what have you made of the season so far?
We were chuffed with our pre-season. We've got a great bunch of boys. You know, I've actually was pleasantly surprised when I came up, just like how good the squad we'd managed to assemble. And the guys were just desperate to get back to rugby. They'd been so long, 18 months pretty much without chucking a ball around. So it was great, and I think everyone in the Super 6 was a bit rusty to start with. It certainly took us a few games to sort of find our feet, but No, we had a couple of tough games against Watsons, Melrose, a narrow loss to Stirling as well, and then thankfully sort of the last month it kind of feels like we've clicked a bit, and yeah, hopefully we're sort of on a good path through to the end of the season.
And what do you think has changed? Because like you said in the last month, some of the wins, they've not been scraping the wins, they've been kind of beating teams by 20, 30 points. What has changed from the start of the season?
I think just everyone's kind of sharpened up a little. I think we're maybe playing a little bit more rugby, which has been suiting us. Our forwards have been great. I think our sort of maul defence has certainly improved massively. Our discipline's been a lot better, and that's meant that we've not struggled to we've not lost momentum for sort of big spells of the games. I think the boys are certainly having fun. Everyone's working hard and just playing for each other, which has been great. So I think it's we're just sort of gelled together, having an extra sort of 2 or 3 weeks together. It's made a big difference, and we're starting to see the positive effects of it.
I'm Matt Davidson and I'm fullback for the Ayrshire Bulls.
Can you just tell us a little bit about how you got into rugby and your first memories of the sport?
So it would have been in primary 3. Dad just brought me along to here actually for the primary 3 minis sort of taster day, and then sort of loved it ever from there and just played all the way up through school with Ayr at the minis, and then moved to Merchiston in Edinburgh where I just finished off school there, and then from there moved down south to London for just a year at London Scottish, and then came up and started with the Bulls in 2019.
Looking at this season so far, you really kind of turned it on in the last month or so.
I'm not sure what happened too much. I think we needed a bit of time just to bond as a team. Like, we're a new group of boys and hadn't played any time together, and then just with COVID and everything, probably wasn't the ideal pre-season, although we had a few games. But then just the past few weeks have been great. We've attacked well and defended well, so it sort of showed in our results.
And in terms of your season so far, what's been your personal highlight?
I think just the past few weeks again. I sort of, in my first season at Bulls, I didn't get as much game time as probably would have wanted at fullback. So this year, getting the games I've had has been really good. Just getting back into it after COVID, and I've just been loving it. Every minute I've got to play has been good so far. So enjoying that.
So looking ahead at the business end of the season now, and 2 huge games coming up, Southern Knights and also Watsonians, so very much the top 3 battling out against each other. What kind of challenges do you expect from them, and how are you going to prepare for those games?
I think the Southern Knights game is going to be a tough one. We know what they can bring. They've got a big forward pack, and they like to drive in mauls and sort of keep it in the forwards. So I think if we can front up sort of physical battle, then I think we should be able to use our backs a bit more and try and play better than we did when we had them at their place.
And for Watsonians?
I think the Watsons game, it's almost like a semi-final sort of thing, so both teams are going to need a win to get to the final, so I think that one's just going to be almost more of a mental thing. I think if we go in with the right mindset and again front up physically, I think we can beat them.
It's good to hear from Pete Horn and also Matt Davidson as the Ayrshire Bulls come back onto the field of play with their special kit that they are wearing. Headlays, the tops, they do look good with the colours, the yellow, the big owl winking. There's not too many rugby teams play with an owl winking on the jersey, but it's working so far.
It's a great cause. Whiteley's Retreat does a lot of great work. I've actually done a bit of ambassador stuff for them as well, and it's a really great project that helps a lot of families. So it's great that the Ayrshire Bulls are getting behind that and supporting it as a local charity with a local club. So it's great to see this partnership happening.
And linking up with local groups like Whiteley's, and I know there's a lot of community work. It does an awful lot of good to spread the game of rugby as well around, Robin.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if all local businesses are helping and growing the sport, it's a great thing for everyone. It's good exposure for businesses, seeing their branding out on television round about, and it's great for the club because it can grow it and try and get as many people involved in the sport as possible, which is what we want essentially here.
So there's the table as it stands. The Southern Knights leading Ayrshire Bulls by 3 points, but the Ayrshire Bulls can go above them. Ayrshire Bulls would require a bonus point win to secure things in terms of the final, but realistically Robbie, it almost looks impossible for Watsonians to catch them if Ayrshire win tonight.
Yeah, if Ayrshire Bulls win tonight, it's a big step forward for them, and it'll be tough for Watsonians. But I reckon the next 8 minutes, 10 minutes of this game, when Ayrshire Bulls have to deal with a yellow card, Aaron Tate's obviously down, so I'm sure the Southern Knights have spoken about what opportunities that brings in the backfield with kicking space and the new 50-22 rule and things like that. So it'll be interesting to see if we see any of that sort of stuff happening.
Yeah, I got you.
And so too, the messaging from the coaches. You know, you want to get that message out and have it just as, you know, players are going out, just that final reminder of what you're looking for. And I guess from a Knights perspective, just secure the ball earlier, get the exit strategy, and get yourself on the front foot.
Yeah, I think it's the simpler the message, the better. I think it'll just be literally discipline, stay out of our own half, and build pressure, and that'll be the key messages, I think, for both sides.
Well, it wasn't a clean take, but it did get moved on. A nervous moment for Christie. 43-year-old played for Hoyt, Melrose Bath. County and the Reavers with Rob Christie up against Pat MacArthur, capped 6 times for his country. That's a good take, Bloodworth. Penalty, crossing. Here's the indication from the referee. That is a good call from a Southern Knights perspective. One or two perplexed looks from the Ayrshire Bulls. Referee Holly Davidson taking charge of her first Super 6 game of the season, just explaining the decision to the players.
I don't think Holly's going to change her mind. I think Blair's wasting his breath here a little bit. He's probably just leave her alone, but he's obviously trying to get his point across.
It's difficult as a captain. You're trying to influence the referee, perhaps not on that decision, but for future ones. But you've got to do it in such a way that you don't make a nuisance of yourself.
Yeah, I think it's a fine line between helping them out with some decisions and just being a bit of pain for them. So yeah, it's just about staying on the right side of Holly if they can.
706.
First line out for Russell Anderson in point territory in the second half. Finds Ian Moody. They've linked up well off the top quickly. Now it comes out. There's the little flick ball on. And coming in off the wing is Patrick Anderson. Anderson goes to ground. Spun it out. Picker will pick up. Gets some help from Jenkins. Picker sends the ball back. There has been a change at half time. It's scrum half for the Southern Knights. Murdo McAndrew is on. Gunn. There's McAndrew. Rumbling forward is Hugh McLaren. McAndrew again. Pull back. Here's the chance for Mitchell. Mitchell can move. Not into contact. Simpercourt jogs his way back to the left wing. I thought the ball was just flung back. It has been gathered and protected by the Knights. Rory Knott again picks up, drives on. 26-year-old Scott, 13th appearance in this competition over the last 2 seasons. Comes out well through Baggett. Baggett trying to get things moving. Here's Relpath. Looked like Bulls had snuck up offside. There's a little ball in the inside from Baggett to Jenkins. Maguire on the tackle. Somehow they hold on, and there's a knock on from the Ayrshire Bulls. That play's not too far from us, Robbie. I tell you what, some of the contact is ferocious.
Yeah, it's nice to see Southern Knights playing with a bit of ambition off the line out there and coming wide. I don't know if that's because Aaron Tate's in the bin and his wing's empty at the minute, but some good play in there, and then just interesting call from Holly there. I thought that might have came deliberately forward off an Ayrshire Bulls player. Could have been another penalty against them, but she's played on, and it's worked out well for the Ayrshire Bulls.
Yeah, sometimes you just need that little bit benefit of the doubt, don't you, along the way. So the yellow card for Michael Scott means that Calvin Henderson continues at prop. Aaron Tate is serving the yellow card by proxy. Referee not happy. Billy Wara's getting ready to come on, just down in front of us. Off the bench last week, was meant to be on the bench. Came onto the bench, then came on, scored a try. The last of the 10 we saw at the Green Yards last week.
Crouch! 5, 6.
Crunch together. McAndrew. Well, they're in trouble here, but the penalty will come. Ayr have taken it round. Well, the Bulls front row are slightly surprised by the call, but not driving properly. Ollie Davidson adamant in her call, and that one goes the way of the visitors.
I'd have liked to see that Southern Knights had a good backs move stacked in behind there with Sam Pecure in behind the two centres, so it'd be nice to see if there was any advantage there, but I'm sure the Southern Knights are happy with the outcome as they go into the Ayrshire Bulls 22.
Davidson just doing a little bit of explaining.
I would agree, but how is he popping up when his feet are off the floor?
Just be able to hear her there. Just wanders away.
Take a step forward.
Communication is always key from the referees, certainly to the captains and to the backs in those situations. Ollie Davidson nailing it there. Oh, that's quickly off the top and round it comes. Here comes Anderson. Anderson trying to find his way through, wasn't held. Moves to the corner. McAndrew in support. McAndrew sends it across, driving through now. It's McLaren. Gather once more. Remember, the Bulls down to 14. McAndrew gets it off. Moody trying to find his way through, but he's going to be taken out of play. The referee's going to come back. It's offside.
4 offside.
It could be, well, that'd be a final warning. Edward Bloodworth
The offside happened first.
coming in there. Tell you what, that's close to a yellow card.
Yeah, they're on the line again. I'm really enjoying the Southern Knights mixing it up the second half. A lot of appeals in the line-out play, a little special play around the front there. So taking the Ayrshire Bulls by surprise. I think they're all expecting the drive after the first half, and it's great to see some invention, and credit to the Southern Knights coaching staff.
We've seen a lot of good invention in the Super 6. Players not afraid to try things, and the level of handling. I mean, McLaren off to Anderson there. Anderson a nice little sidestep. Quality's there.
Yeah, absolutely. These are front row players producing top quality handling stuff, so that's great to see.
That looked like it was taken down, but the referee is up there and happy. Here comes Anderson. Standing over it is McLaren.
Advantage, 1 collapse.
Southern Knights have had opportunities. They need to convert one of these. The Bulls doing well. Round the corner once more. The Bulls, plenty of players there. Will they try and get it out wide? McAndrew brings it back down the blind side. Tries the scrum half snipe himself. He is short.
Not on the line and not forward.
There's a knock on.
Yeah. But it's going
And that will go the way of the Bulls. The referee's called time off temporarily, just to explain the decision.
Time's off. We will go back for 1 collapse, but injuries.
So the yellow card is about to end.
Yeah, no problem.
The water carriers on. Again, they tried to bludgeon their way through, Robbie, but they're not finding a way past the Bulls' defence.
I'm unsure. I'm not sure if we're playing penalty advantage for the Southern Knights here. I think Ayr might have been offside again there. If that's the case, we could be looking at another yellow card as our first yellow card returns to the field. But it'll be interesting to see what Holly calls here.
So Michael Scott is back on. Aaron Tate comes back on as well. As Calvin Henderson, who was the replacement front row, goes back off. Just get complicated sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, Ollie Davidson is just having a little chat again with Blair McPherson. Jason Baggett has ball in hand, which suggests, as you say, Robbie, there's a penalty.
It's going to be for 1 collapse at the lineup.
As the replacements come wandering past us, take their seat on the stand. So there's a player down, you're missing none of the action. The referee still hasn't actually signalled a final decision, so we have to wait. The referee is the sole arbiter of the game. It's certainly Jason Baggett standing with the ball, expecting to put it into touch.
I think she's called deliberate collapse of them all by the Ayrshire Bulls there, and if that's the case, I wouldn't be surprised to see another yellow card coming here. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what she calls.
Good crowd inside Mowbray this evening. So referee gets set to get us underway once more. Not sure if that's Alex Maguire coming off. There's somebody right on the very far side.
Yeah, but we'll wait until the sub is on. You can just go for the line now.
Yeah, there is a problem for Alex Maguire. He's making a havoc getting these head knocks and coming off with the blood replacements. He had to come off at Heriots for the same reason.
I think that just shows the physicality that's happening out there. There's a lot of blood being spilt now, so yeah, we're giving the penalty to the Southern Knights.
Into the corner it goes. It's a lovely touch and round the corner. McLaren again on the drive. Well, the Southern Knights have all the pressure. Can they get that ball over the try line? The Bulls' defence certainly been in a good place this evening. You can hear the yelling as the Bulls push back the Knights. It's a question of can the Ayrshire Bulls hold back the Knights?
No hands.
McAndrew pointing to the side. That's terrific play by the Bulls again, pushing back, but it's good ball retention by the Southern Knights. McAndrew goes in to dig the ball out, fires it across. Gosmark is absolutely hit. Tom Jordan was leading that charge. McAndrew, Southern Knights reset.
No.
Jenkins has come wide on the left. McAndrew looks left, then goes right. Anderson with a pass. This Bulls line has been terrific.
Advantage.
The Knights might think they perhaps could have had a yellow card against the hosts. Now it's going to be a jump ball. Moody goes up, actually pushes it back, so the penalty will come.
No advantage.
You could tell the penalty advantage was coming. Time off, and I think there's going to be a problem here, Robbie.
Yeah, I think the disciplines have been a bit of a problem. She's been to Blair McPherson again here. I was about to say credit to the Ayrshire Bulls D there. They stood up really well. Some big hits from Tom Jordan coming in there, and they're doing really well to fight in the tackle and hold the Southern Knights player up, which is slowing the breakdown. And Southern Knights don't seem to have an answer for it at the minute, but the Ayrshire Bulls discipline's definitely going to start hurting them soon.
So it's going to be a change made by the Southern Knights in a moment.
Sub now, 12.
If they were walking a tightrope, they're now walking just on the very edge of that. The Bulls have to be careful.
Yeah, I'm sure Niall Godsmark's reminding Holly how many penalties there's been there. So I'm having a little chat with her in the ear, so it'll be interesting to see how it happens. But it's just in this 22, the penalties mount up, and there's only one option really for the referee.
Night is over for Andrew Mitchell. Milliwara is on. So again, the kick. It might not be the prettiest rugby at times, Robbie, but I mean, watching a team defend these mauls as the Bulls have done, I mean, it's a huge part of the game, and it's why there's the difference in the scoreboard so far.
I think it's credit to the Ayrshire Bulls maul defence that the Southern Knights have mixed it up, and we've seen two front peel options now and a peel play off the back, so it'll be interesting to see what they throw at them this time.
Taken by Moody, but the throw in is not correct. And again, the Southern Knights stall not far from the try line. Well, it's a hard old contest, and as things stand, these two teams could meet in the final on the 17th of October at the Damhealth Stadium in Edinburgh, the new home of Edinburgh Rugby. I'll tell you what, I'd pay to go along and watch it because it'll be a cracker if the final is on the line between these two.
Yeah, absolutely, two good sides going at it, and if the Ayrshire Bulls manage to get out of this without conceding any points, they'll be absolutely delighted, and it'll be a bit of a hammer to the Southern Knights boys, but we'll see, they're not out of this yet.
Sloan getting ready to come on. And the penalty. So the Southern Knights are going to find themselves moving out of the 22 once more without any points. They're going to make a trio of changes. Well, there's the change.
Okay, 1, 2 and 4. Stop, guys. 4.
So Sean Gunner's replaced, Russell Anderson 2 is replaced. And Dalton Redpath is also replaced. I was going to ask Daniel Sludden, who wasn't too far away from us, if he wouldn't mind, you know, sitting down. Because I couldn't see, but he was sitting down. He's such a tall unit. He just gives a real presence there.
Small.
Yeah, there's some big men came onto the field there, and I think Grant Shield will add something to the Southern Knights front row as well. He's an experienced player and a leader within that squad, so they'll get a bit of a boost from him coming onto the field, I think.
So Rannick is on, Shields is on, Sludden is on. They've made 5 changes so far. Jenkins caught by Nairn. And then again, everything comes together in that ball. The referee tried to sort players. It is just getting a little bit testy. Holly Davidson just parting the Red Sea, so to speak.
I think that's one of the new rules. A few crowd members a bit baffled there. I think if you hold the man up there like Robbie Nairn did off a kick in normal play, that would be a scrum down and Ayrshire Bulls ball, but off the kick now it's the other way around, so it's going to be the Southern Knights ball.
Yeah, Worrell Drugger always just finagling little changes here and there just to try and get the game going faster and better.
Bind.
And just to keep commentary teams on their toes as well.
Set. Stay on.
Midi out from the back, needs some support. Jordan in the tackle. McAndrew. There's the box kick. Billy Warrett was chasing, pushed his man to get through. Southern Knights gather. That was almost an interception. Robert Beattie read it, then goes through his hands a second time. Look on. Just started to hear some of the coaching frustrations that teams aren't looking after the ball correctly, and I think just a little bit more game management required. Hold on, you're still in the game from a Southern Knights perspective. We've got a long time to go. You don't just want to be flingy about taking that chance just at this stage.
I think so. From a neutral's point of view, I'm desperate to see them throwing these passes now, and some of these offloads sticking. We nearly saw Joe Jenkins with a half break again there, and Bobby Beattie went up for the intercept and wasn't far away either. So these fine margins will start to come into the last 20 minutes. Teams will start looking for things, and it can break one way or the other for them.
Bobby Beattie, former Glasgow Hawks, London Scottish, one try. He's still in county this season. You could see it from where we are in the main stand. He anticipated the pass. Wasn't a million miles away either. Moody through the hands of McAndrew. Gets it out wide. Here's Billy Warrett for the first time really getting a run, and he can run. Tries the offload on the far side. Jenkins up in support. Good retaliatory work by the Bulls, but it's still back on the right side. McAndrew get himself there. So the run of Grant Shields. Go to the second receiver. McAndrew tries a little grubber kick through. It's going to put pressure. Hudson did well. Gets it away. And it has gone out of play. You can see the disappointment from Jason Baggett. Jason Baggett couldn't hold it in, and to make matters worse, the throw will come for the Ayrshire Bulls. Some treatment for Angus Runciman is the reason for the break at the moment. It's fine margins again, Robbie.
Yeah, Matt Davidson's done really well there for me. He's picked the ball up off a slippy surface and he's put a decent kick in that's put Jason Baggett under a little bit of pressure again to either make a decision. He's tried to keep it in, you can see why. He wants to play with a bit of tempo. They're going to start to chase the game soon, so you can see why he tried to keep that in. It's worked out well for the Ayrshire Bulls, getting possession inside the Southern Knights half again.
Does there come a point in the evening in a game you think might not be our night? I mean, the Southern Knights have spent arguably the last 7 or 8 minutes in the first half inside their opponent's 22. They spent a long time at the start of this half in the 22 and they haven't moved the scoreboard.
I think it does play in your head a little bit, but like you say, you just have to look at last week's result with the Southern Knights and Heriots. They know they can score tries, they know they're one break of a ball or one intercept away from a length of the field try, so this game's very much still alive, I think.
Blood replacement is about to be reversed. Alex McGuire will come back on, having been patched up. Rugby Turner will leave the field of play once more. So that is a blood replacement reversal. You can never relax on the bench anymore, is it? It's a replacement player. It could be called on off at any time. I'm sure Rodri Turner was too chuffed to come back off it.
With HIAs and all this sort of stuff now, you're always got to be ready, and be interesting to see again. I think Melrose have got another strike lined up off the back of this scrum, so I think it was it Billy had a good break in that last one, so it'll be interesting to see if they go there again.
He gets himself set. Penalty from the scrum again. You might be able to hear in the background. We're close to the Southern Knights bench. They're certainly delighted by it. It's having a very influential game at the back as Ian Moody picked up, getting ready to go. One of Robbie Ferguson's jobs this evening, as well as putting up with me, will be to choose the FOSROC Super 6 player of the match. So I need to start a little bit of thinking on that.
So for me, push has come on and then he stood up under pressure. The pressure hasn't come from underneath.
Chance now for Fraser Rennick to get the throw in. No points in the second half. In fact, no points since the 17th minute of the game. That's an overthrow, and it's been picked up by McGuire, just back on the field. He scooped that underneath. McGuire waits for it, tries to gather, came off his hand, went forwards. It's right in front of us. And referee Holly Davidson. Southern Knights are going to make another change as well.
Sub boys, 15. Sub.
Just scooped underneath the kick that time. Tom Jordan, he's not done a lot wrong this evening, but he scooped under that. But Sam Piqueur just couldn't gather.
It's always a messy one, difficult one for Sam to take there. Coming out the lights, it's high, it's not where you expect the ball to be, so it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Just a word about the referee Holly Davidson. She's done really well. She referees at the highest level. She just looks so calm throughout, despite everything that's going on around her. She has that quiet aura of confidence.
Yeah, she's certainly been discussing with both captains, explaining her decisions, and there's certainly been consistency there, I feel. So yeah, she's done really well tonight, I think.
Well, the advantage was coming for the penalty. In fact, she is going to bring it back. I'm not sure that they actually want that because the ball bounced out. And they're saying that they will take the ball inside the 22 from the penalty advantage.
This is another one of the new law variations. The ball was kicked from inside his own half and it's landed in the opposition 22, so it's Ayrshire Bulls' ball and as good a place to be from a penalty, so they're happy to take that outcome.
Yeah, Jordan Lanack was up very, very quickly to point out, as you can see, the box kick that he puts up clearly inside his own half when he picked up and gathered. It was a beautiful kick into the 22. Just got it. That's good awareness from the scrum half. Ian Moody got his big paws on the ball. And the referee is going to say that will be the way of the Southern Knights. The defence is really working so hard, and Ian Moody just doing enough to disrupt the line out, gets himself a little help off the ground. That's terrific work from Ian Moody, 32 years old, loving his rugby this season. Into the last quarter of the match. Both these sides averaging over 20 points a game coming in. The Ayrshire Bulls scored 237 points. They've conceded 129. That's best both for and against in the Super 6. Won their last 4, really, in such a good run. Moody off to McAndrew. That could be charged down. Doddsmark couldn't gather, and the penalty for offside. Well, the kick was charged down. Well, they've got two choices here, Robbie. They could take a breath and go for the posts and just take the 3 points. Just makes life a little bit harder for the Southern Knights.
Yeah, I think they'll probably take the 3 points here. It was a little bit Southern Knights maybe trying to force that a little bit now, realising in the last 20 and trying to play a bit more with the longer kick-off 10. But yeah, I think Ayrshire Bulls will be delighted with 3 points here and keep that scoreboard ticking over, because there's not been any scores yet in the second half.
Yeah, Jason Baggett. Ball came back towards him. It's your initial reaction is to pick up. The first penalty shot at goal for the Ayrshire Bulls. It's been an attritional old evening around Millbrae. In terms of if you were Ayrshire Bulls at this moment, you're hoping to go 17-3 up. You know, you've got about 18 minutes left. What's your attitude towards the game in terms of risk?
I think Ayrshire Bulls don't really have to change what they're doing. They're exiting well, putting pressure on the Southern Knights. I think the pressure now probably comes from the Southern Knights. How much rugby do they want to play? It'll be risk reward, so they may have to switch their tactics up. But for the Ayrshire Bulls, I think you take 3 points here. The next job's exiting your own half and trying to stay out your own half, and they'll be happy enough to do that, I think.
I'm fairly certain that Pat MacArthur, along with his coaching team, Peter Horn, Rob Harley, Dean Kilbert, would be absolutely delighted at the way the defence has held up this evening. It's not just been once or twice, it's been 5 or 6 times the Southern Knights have pushed all the way.
Especially on their own goal line there. There's been penalties in amongst that, but the coach will be happy that the defence has been solid in that area, and they've not given up any tries yet tonight when they've been under a lot of pressure as well.
Well, they're hitting form at the right time. The Ayrshire Bulls, as things stand, they would be top of the FOSROC Super 6 this evening. If they secured 4 points, they would be a point ahead of the Southern Knights. Certainly for Watsonians, who are the closest team to the Bulls, they would have liked the Knights to come here to do the business. Doesn't look like it's going to be. Tomorrow it's heading at Stirling County. Sunday, Watsonians against the Boroughmuir Bears. Setting up for the clearance kick. It's just Robbie Ferguson alongside me. Said Ayrshire had to do, take it cleanly, get your exit. And Jordan Lanack has been a calming presence at scrum half, playing with a smile on his face tonight.
Yeah, he's played really well. The 50-22 is good. His box kicking, I think, for the most part, has been very good tonight as well, and he seems to have controlled the base of the scrum and those mauls that have been so crucial to the Ayrshire Bulls. So now he's played well tonight.
Well, George Thornton thought his night was over, but there's been a mistake in the paperwork, so he's been sent back out there. Tom Everard, very influential in the line out, the breakdown as well. He's had a good night. Michael Scott is the player that's withdrawn, so George Thornton remains on the field of play. I won't name names, Robbie, but there was a tale that a club in the Scottish Premiership this season put on the wrong player, took off the wrong player And the manager didn't realise that until it had been done and they couldn't reverse it. So you've got to make sure the paperwork's correct.
Could be a real coach killer, that. They'll fire up the manager there.
Got to get these things right, it's all in the detail. Try to run it with a carry. Southern Knights needing to make something happen. Time running out. Baggett. A tough night for Jason Baggett tonight. McAndrew. Cry from the coaching staff, keep a tight line. There is Daniel Sludden. The turnover is good. There's the long kick again from Matt Davidson, and Goldsmark has to go back. What a kick that is! Now what has the referee spotted? The referee has then given a penalty for offside on the chase. Well, how about that for just a change in momentum?
Yeah, that was a big one, because that was going to be an Ayrshire Bulls line out 5-10 metres. That was a great kick from Matt Davidson to put them back there, but Hawley's deemed the Ayrshire players to be offside, and it's flip role reversal, and now Southern Knights will look to get into the Ayrshire Bulls 22.
Well, what a big call this is. Beautiful take. Got it away really, really well. Deep inside his own half. It would have been a Bulls line out. Well, the referee indicating that it was offside. I know the temptation, Robbie, is to get after the ball, to get involved, but sometimes you just got to take that step back. I mean, you probably don't realise it's going to be such a good kick, but you need to take that step back. Oh, it's been mishandled again. Just went off the hand, or really not. Just spluttered at the wrong time, the Knights. Nicely done by Lanack. Well, there will be a knock on. I'm not quite sure what the Knights were trying there. It's almost 2 steps forward and 3 steps back for the Knights at times. You just think they're making their way back into the game, but the Bulls finding ways. Even after what would be a bad penalty call, I know it would upset Pat MacArthur, but nothing came of it.
Yeah, the Southern Knights have definitely had their opportunities down in that 22 again. Good rub of the green, just the line out doesn't really happen there, and then a drop ball that's, I think he's been trying to keep the ball in play, maybe lost sight of the touchline, and just a little knock on, which again gives Ayrshire Bulls possession, which I don't think they'll look to do too much with. They'll look to control it, try and play back down in the Southern Knights 22 and keep the pressure on them, which they're doing very well.
Just 42 points for the sides met in week 3, 22-20 to the Southern Knights at the Green Yards. It's been tight tonight, but trying to open things out are the Ayrshire Bulls. Gathered, Beattie, downed. Billy Wara up and over the ball, but it's been smuggled back. You could see it coming back on this side. The pressure, Moody tried to rip it away. Dropping his shoulder there, Rory Jackson, year 16. There's Lanack. Lanack through the hands it comes of Tom Williams. Lanack, such a live wire. Calvin Henderson was the blood replacement. So he was the yellow card replacement, now on in his own right. Now it comes back, there's a little kick through once more by Davidson. There's a man down. Doesn't look like it is Calvin Henderson. Ball is out of play. I think we'll have to stop things for a moment. Time goes off.
I think that's smart play there by Matt Davidson. Realised 2 or 3 phases, not really going anywhere. No need to overplay your hand and put yourself under pressure, and he's put a little grubber down. Again, the Southern Knights line-out maybe hasn't been functioning too well recently, so again, pressure on them, on their 22, they have to do something.
Water carriers on, just
controlled the conditions very well, and his box kick has been a key factor, putting Ayr in the right position. So no, I think he's a great game, and I'm sure Harry will look to come on and do more of the same just to try and close the game out.
Harry Ward off the bench for the 5th time this season, a 9th appearance for him. Well, the pack's down at Millbrae this evening. Everybody trying to have a little glance at the monitor we have to our right hand side and just see what the action is, but just having to take time and check that Calvin Henderson is okay, and just check that he's alright to continue. If he's not, there's no point in taking a chance, but made of stern stuff. So tomorrow at Golden Acre, Heriots will take on Stirling County, and Watsonians, I'm sure, will be watching in this evening, will take on the Boroughmuir Bears at Myerside, 1:30. Remember, you can see highlights of these games and clips of the best of the tries on Twitter as well. It's a good follow. Certainly, last week, the tries were outrageous, some of them. Last week was tremendous stuff. It's been 136 tries in 24 games coming into tonight, as the Southern Knights try to get things away. It's 28 tries in 3 games last weekend. This evening we've got 2. Blair McPherson has both. As Murdo McAndrew sends it long. Davidson, good take, gets himself back up before contact. The ball came out, guddled slightly, but again it's about protection. Thornton. There's a little ball off, it went backwards. Tom Jordan got it away, now the kick is deep. Jason Baggett waits for it, Baggett trying to spot a gap. They need to start moving the ball now, the Southern Knights. The clock certainly against them, 11 minutes to play. There was almost a gap, no way through for Runciman. And the referee's given the penalty, tackler not rolling away. That was Rory Jackson, pinged on that occasion. Not the deepest kick in the world, just out by the 10-metre line. Sampagur just having a chat with the coaching staff, and they're trying to get the message on that there's still 12 minutes, there's still time. If you can score 3 tries in 5 minutes as they did last weekend, still time, Robbie, to do damage here.
Yeah, I think the coach are just trying to get the message on, just to remain composed. You don't have to do too much. I think they're getting in the right areas of the pitch. They just need to convert some of these opportunities, and I think one try could make a massive difference in this game for the Southern Knights' confidence. If they can get over that whitewash, it'd make a really interesting last 10 minutes.
So the changes made, confirmed on the screen. Alex Maguire, well, he's been in the wars as well, had a cut attended to, but he's off the field of play. Audrey Tanner wears 25, well, a more traditional 16 for the replacement hooker. Rory Jackson wears 16. Harry Borthwick just standing right in front of me as he wanders to go down, and that's why there's the delay. So he'll replace Alan Ferry. Harry Borthwick did miss out last week due to injury, comes off the bench. It's an 8th appearance of the season. Both coaches just making the changes just at the very end, and off comes Alan Ferry. Medical staff will just check him out and make sure he's okay. And Robbie Nairn's night is done as well. Moody takes at the back. Here's McAndrew. Borthwick down by Jordan, and there's the penalty. Again coming in off their feet, Fantini that time. And again immediately the ball into the hands of Jason Baggett. no time to weigh things up, Robbie. You've got to get things moving.
Yeah, I really liking what Southern Knights are doing to the line-outs now. They're really going to breakout plays and staying away from the driving game. They've obviously thought they're not getting much return in that area. Interesting to see what they do now, 5-6 metres out from the line. Most teams would be looking to drive this, but I think they're getting more joy out of their breakouts and their peels, so it'll be interesting to see what they come up with here.
Mate, it's the definition of madness to keep doing the same thing to get the same results, so good on them for changing things. And it puts the Bulls on their toes as well.
Absolutely, I think it's easy now when boys are getting tired to expect something, and if you do something a little different, it can be a really easy return and an easy try for the Southern Knights. They can get a little play right here.
Well, Sam Pukur and Patrick Anderson haven't seen too much of the ball when they were on. Billy Warr has seen it. Anderson and Pukur, the wingers, still want to get involved. It's been well taken, now they're driving, trying to get things set. They are going round the corner. There's a splinter way down in that far corner. Just waiting for the signal from the referee. She's broken to the side, and referee Holly Davidson has given the try. Well, again, they went in en masse, and for the first time this evening they crossed the try line. It's been a difficult night for them, Robbie, but they do get on the scoreboard, and at the end of the day they do get the reward that they were looking for. Here's the replay. Watch Fraser Rennick moving in right at the back. And Fraser Rennick there, wears 16, and he gathers, has the ball. It was all about the push, and in he went. Ollie Davidson trying to spot this one, and he came through, just collapsed on the line. That's good positioning by the referee. Almost got taken out by Ian Moody, who blocked the signal from us, but the try is over, and now we have an interesting game on our hands. This is a big kick. Jason Baggett strikes it. The assistant referees look, but the flag stayed down. Well, it was a tough kick, but could have done with that from a one try deficit perspective.
Yeah, that'll be a big relief for Ayr. They didn't get that kick there. If you're sitting 7 points away, you've always got a bit of worry about one try, one mistake, and you can be in a drawn game. So they've got a little buffer there, but I'm sure the Southern Knights are now buoyed, and they'll want to really kick on these last 6.5, 7 minutes here.
That would have been 17 points to 10. We've not had a 7-point winning margin in the whole tournament so far, which is bizarre given the scoring of rugby. A converted try. We've not had that. We had 6, we had 5, etc. But the gap remains. 9 points. Borthwick goes on the kick chase, gathers it as well. Now they're moving. I think here's Godsmark. Godsmark spotted the gap. Oh, it's brilliant footwork. That's great recovering tackling. There's Blair McPherson, captain on captain. In went Sludden. Chasing after him goes Rory Sace. Well, Pat McCarthy and the Ayr bench are yelling at their men, no penalties. Here's Godsmark. Penalty advantage is coming though. And there's going to be a card as well coming out, Robbie, and this could influence the last few minutes of the game.
It's late and it's a short.
That'll anger the coaching staff. We can hear them screaming in front of us, no penalties, no penalties. He's just hit the 10 late off the ball there. It's an easy one for Holly to give that. So frustration from the Ayrshire Bulls, but again, this is playing into the Southern Knights, and another big finish coming on for them if they can get down in the right area.
Well, 74:50 on the clock when Yanni Fantini was invited to spend the rest of the game in the sin bin. It's a really deep kick. Rob Christie will be delighted. His team, although they haven't executed everything perfectly, have kept themselves in the game. There's the conversion. It's very, very high. Must have just sneaked round the sides of the post.
It looked on a good line there. It must have been over the side of the post and came back round, but that kick could prove to be the difference if the Southern Knights can get on the board again here.
Certainly from that angle it looked like it went through, but the two ARs were there. Now it's gathered. Fraser Rennick there. Interesting to speak to Jason Baggett afterwards to see if he thought it was through. Referee shouting, let it come. The ball has come. Ian Moody played it out. Godsmark again tries the little shimmy step, moving the weight from right to left. Sludden tries the offload. Saint-Procure, that's forwards. And the offload, you could see what they were trying, just a little bit too far forward on that occasion.
This will be the Ayrshire Bulls now trying to control the clock, be clever in around this area, try and kill as much time as possible. Momentum certainly with the Southern Knights right now, so Ayrshire Bulls going to have to try and suck the life out of this one.
Time off once more. Rory Sace is having another chance. They're well wrapped up on this October evening. Autumn certainly has come to Ayrshire, there's no doubt about that.
No, outside.
That's it, that's what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to wave. Well done.
Time on.
Oh, now you're milking it, come on. We'll allow him the second wave, Robbie, because he gave us a good smile as well.
Absolutely playing up to the cameras, you like to see that.
On scrum here for the Ayrshire Bulls. So Southern Knights and the Ayrshire Bulls separated by 9 points. The conversion, which wasn't given, it would have been 17-10. That would have been a losing bonus point for the Southern Knights if they couldn't add to their tally. Now the scrum comes up, referee will give the penalty. It's coming the way of the Southern Knights. Just too strong in the scrum there.
Yeah, really interesting to see what the Southern Knights do here. Do they take the 3 points and then go for the win, backing themselves to score again, or do they take this position and go to the corner right now?
If it's me, I take the points.
I think so, yeah. It's just the argument is, do you go to the corner, take momentum while you've got it, and then a drop goal, a penalty, it's tense times at the end, but they're going for the 3 points here, so they'll be looking to get this over as quick as possible and get back down into Ayrshire Bulls territory and go for the win.
Andy, how long?
Jason Baggett.
2.5.
The advantage of doing it this way, it secures the losing bonus point as well, should you not manage to see it out. Well, we expected a tense ending between these two teams. That's exactly what we're getting. Jason Baggett, though, needs to remain the calmest man on the field. Just take a breath. Strikes it. Well, the old adage, straight down the middle. We have a 6-point game. Robbie Ferguson, this has been perhaps not the open, flashy game of rugby that we perhaps might have wanted, but has been a fascinating contest and all to play for.
Yeah, definitely, and I think we're just building towards a finish now. It'll be interesting to see. Hopefully Southern Knights play out from depth here, nothing really to sort of lose, so yeah, I think there's still some rugby left in it now.
Well, 10 of the 23 wins this season have been by less than 7 points, 7 games separated by 3 points or less. We have a 6-point gap here at Millbrae, and the Southern Knights are going to do what the Southern Knights do best, that's fling the ball around. Wara gets it on behind Procure, he sent it backwards. War will pick it up. Well, the Ayrshire coaching staff wanted a knock on there. Here's Sludden. Bloodworth just collapsing on top of him. Here's Godsmark. Godsmark sent it out wide. Chance to run for Patrick Anderson. Well, he's got plenty of petrol in his boots. Again, the cry from the air benches, no penalties. Remember, they're down to 14. Have to keep it in their hands, the Knights. There's Millie Warrett. Warrett can't get the offload. Aaron Tate, not called his name too often tonight, but he did well there. Now, Tom Williams up. Trying to find that line gap. They've taken it in, but they've held on. The penalty goes the way of the Ayrshire Bulls, and that will be enough to see them through tonight.
Yeah, and potentially take the losing bonus point away from the Southern Knights here, and they'll leave Millbrae with nothing. So it'll be an interesting call to see what they do. Hopefully take 3 points here.
3 seconds.
Yeah, it's all about awareness, isn't it?
Holding on.
They're trying to do the right thing,
That's tight.
stepping forward.
Shot call.
And they are eventually now indicating towards the posts. It will be the last action of the evening. Tom Jordan.
Just your time.
Well, there'll be time in just a moment for Robbie to select his player of the match.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you.
Here comes Tom Jordan. I can confirm the man alongside me, Robbie Ferguson, has picked Blair McPherson, the double try scorer, as the FOSROC Super 6 player of the match. As Tom Jordan launches the last kick of the evening, and he sent that wide, which will mean the Southern Knights will leave with a bonus point, but it is the Ayrshire Bulls who will take all 4 points in a tight contest. And for the first time this season, neither the Ayrshire Bulls or the Southern Knights can get over 20 on the scoreboard, and both these teams will leave with 31 points apiece on the table. And Robbie, it was an engrossing contest, lots of hard-hitting rugby, and despite the fact they had 2 yellow cards, Ayrshire got their way through.
Yeah, I think when you saw the conditions at the start of tonight, it was never going to be a high-scoring affair, and I think Ayr potentially just took their chances a little bit better than the Southern Knights did in the 22, and eventually those 2 early tries from Blair McPherson paid dividends for the Ayrshire Bulls.
And the defence from the Ayrshire Bulls throughout was very, very strong, and we saw, and you mentioned it, the Southern Knights had to go for the more traditional maul to try and get the little offloads in different places from the line-outs to try and find a way through.
Yeah, there's a huge credit to the defence coaches at Ayr there. The goal line defence for 3 or 4 of those Southern Knights drives were impressive. Ended up in penalties, but at the end of the day they never cost the team, and the defence finished on top, so it was huge credit to the Ayrshire Bulls defence team.
Yeah, the late penalty from Tom Jordan going wide of the post, which gave us our full-time scoreline. The Ayrshire Bulls 17, the Southern Knights 11, the 2 highest scoring teams in the FOSROC Super 6. Well, it was more defensive battle tonight. Let's have a look back at the highlights of the game, and the man of the match, this was his first try. The Knights had surrendered territory, just a couple of errors, and that allowed Robbie Nairn to set up, and then Blair McPherson going round the corner. The red shirt of the referee, you can see Holly Davidson crouching down, spotting that Blair McPherson had got the try through there. That was his 7th of the season to that point. He was to score again, but you could see the work, they got the support there very, very quickly. The recycling of the ball was very good tonight from the Ayrshire Bulls.
Yeah, they've looked after the ball well, and it's worked well from the 22. The pressure in there, if you can keep looking after the ball and working a team round the corner, eventually you'll get over the line. And I think it's credit in there to the centres as well, stepping up and helping the forwards out. It can be a tiring affair, but I think they shared the workload well.
They then had more pressure. The first try coming just after 4 minutes. It was 11 minutes later when again Ben McPherson helped on by a couple of Bull friends as they went over once more. It was a terrific start by the home side, and just I guess, Robbie, a real lesson in taking the chances when they're there.
Yeah, absolutely. It can punish if you start slowly, so the Ayrshire Bulls got their chances early doors and they took them. Maybe Melrose Southern Knights were still sort of struggling from the journey or whatever else they happened, but they certainly started slow in the first 10-15 minutes tonight, and I think they paid for it. Then
Blair McPherson tried to sneak an extra roll or two. That allowed the penalty to come from Jason Baggett, and that was to be our half-time scoreline of 14-3. Southern Knights cut the gap with a try at the end, and it was good work by Fraser Rennick just at the back. And this was really the only time the maul defence failed from an Ayrshire perspective.
Yeah, I think the Southern Knights mixed up second half, went some different options, and then got 5 metres out and found it easier to do that. Maybe the Ayrshire Bulls were expecting something different. They came at them with the drive there, and yeah, they got the rewards for it.
Well, it was a real contest, and the man of the match, or player of the match, Blair McPherson. It's not only the captain that presents it, but you can't present it to yourself. I mean, he can do a lot, but he can't present his own medal. But he did play well.
Yeah, he'll be pleased with his performance tonight, and he'll be even more pleased with his hairline in that picture there. It's been struggling in recent weeks, so it's nice to see him with a full head of hair again.
So the Ayrshire Bulls and Southern Knights are locked at the top of the table on 31 points apiece. All but certain they will play on the 17th of October in the final of FOSROC Super 6 at the Damhealth Stadium at BT Murrayfield, just behind the new ground there. Well, it was a real slugfest tonight between two very talented teams. Tomorrow, Heriots, get yourself along to Golden Acre if you can, as Stirling County come calling. It was a cracker between those two the first time they met. And Watsonians against Murraymuir, a real Edinburgh derby there, will finish off the FOSROC Super 6 weekend. Next Friday, the Southern Knights against Stirling County. You can see the whole match live here on the BBC. Hugh Dan McLennan will guide you through that one. But that's all from us here at Mulbray. The teams have really done well, I say. Expect to see them again at the Damhealth Stadium in Edinburgh. You can be there too on Sunday the 17th of October. Tickets available from ScottishRugby.org. The whole match live on the BBC iPlayer next week when we're back in Melrose. Southern Knights against Stirling County. My thanks to Robbie Ferguson for joining us this evening. Remember, you can catch clips on the BBC Scotland website, Scottish Rugby website, and watch the highlights of all the weekend's matches at ScottishRugby.org on Monday. Follow all the action over the weekend with exclusive in-game clips and score updates on Twitter at Super6 Rugby. Thanks for watching this evening. Our thanks to our technical crew surviving the wind and rain here in Ayrshire. It was some match. The Ayrshire Bulls come out on top. Thanks for watching from all the team. Bye for now.